guys, I'm Pirate Mike, Occupy San Francisco, and I'd like to introduce you to Occupy Live, which is going to be a weekly roundtable forum discussing the issues that we find are relevant to the Occupy movement and their relations to greater global issues and regional concerns that we have here in San Francisco, how that relates to the greater Occupy concept. I'm going to have a tendency to focus on veterans and educational affairs. Along with me is Angelina, who will be delving into those topics even further and providing information on what we can do to build a better society through education.
Hi, well, I'm Angelina, and I'm going to talk basically about coordination at the national and international level, and also about education. And here is Belle.
And here is Skud.
Hi, this is Skud. I'll be talking about announcements that are coming up for this week and actions that will be happening in the future, and I'll also be talking about various things that have been going on in the greater world past Occupy that Occupy has direct interest in.
So, I think it's my turn, and I want to let you know that this next Thursday, February 16th, I'm going to take a train called Occupy Express that departs from Los Angeles. I will take it in Oakland, and this train gets occupiers from every town on the West Coast until Olympia in the state of Washington, where there's a social forum on the 18th and 19th, that means next weekend. And this social forum is precisely to coordinate, to see where every Occupy is, what are our strengths and our weaknesses, and how we can empower each other. There will be lots of teachings, and I will be doing one of them.
We have a safety alert. San Francisco Muni whistleblower has pointed out that the money from the feds has gone to repaint the buses and renumber them, and that now the electronics are covered by plastic garbage bags.
Thank you, Belle. Would you guys like to head over into our forum section and discuss heavy issues like 18 veterans killing themselves every day, or taking a bus across the United States in efforts to solidify a national Occupy movement?
Freaking fracking! You can't even drink a glass of water anymore. It's a gas. Children are burning up getting their Kool-Aid, and you can't wash your dogs anymore. Don't smoke around your water faucets.
Right on. Guys, the world hates dead air. So let's stop killing our air with coal production. We've got some pretty interesting statistics here that according to the latest military intelligence, there is an average of 950 suicide each month by returning service members who are coming back into a dysfunctional society. It is my contention that any type of institutionalized lifestyle, such as the military or prison or certain repressive educational models, will produce an inability for that individual to climatize or become acclimated to the society they're being spit back into.
Talking about funny numbers and the kind of absurdity that they represent, do you know that now in Greece, the Greeks have been told that they will be returned 14 cents for every dollar that they give back, and in the meantime their president, who suggested a referendum, has been taken away from government, and somebody who has not been voted is in office?
In Arizona, if you can't speak English, you can't run for office. What? What the kind, bro? Cannot speak English with pidgin?
And not only cannot speak English, but in Arizona they have banned Chicano and Native American books.
That's pretty heavy.
That's right. It also seems to fit in with the NDAA bill, or maybe better known as S-1867, a legislative piece that has been passed through Congress that has many provisions highly contradictory to this country's founding documents, known as the, first off, the Declaration of Independence, but more importantly than that, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The bill does exist, and many of its provisions enable the President a most peculiar and unique positional power to be able to deem whoever he wants as a terrorist as he sees fit. And once he does so, he can send in U.S. troops, military police, to do as they will with them as they see fit, all in the name of national security.
Loonies are on the loose in San Francisco.
Yes.
Without any money, everyone is being denied mental health services and being dumped on the streets. You can get a hold of Mohammed Nuru because of the public safety issue that Occupy was able to address, but the city isn't. So the zombies, 0, loonies, 1.
The loonies have won.
Zombies are the kind of judges that have judged Judge Garzón in Spain. The corrupt are judging the judge, and in fact they are inhabilitating him, and that's more or less what is happening here with the NDAA. International law seems to be a matter of a joke.
Well, maybe they'll do a little bit better. Law school grads are going bankrupt in record numbers. Good luck getting a mortgage.
Interesting enough to add to that, there's a developing story that happened today. Several occupiers were in front of a local 7-Eleven earlier today, where they were informed by a Yerba Buena community guide guard that they were not actually able to occupy space near the building, near the entrance of it. They then retaliated with questions as to why he thought it was okay for them to impede on their rights, as they were not infringing on the sit-lie law and were clearly not loitering due to the fact that they bought goods at the store. They also questioned where his money was coming from to pay for the job that he was doing, and he informed them that apparently there was a bunch of corporate tax that went into his job that the city apparently funds.
Yeah, apparently these businesses, these businesses put in a small business tax that goes to fund these little miniature private security firms. It's kind of like a homeowners association home monitor. I would like it if maybe next time we broadcast we can focus a little bit more on the NDAA,
And maybe they can spend some of that money upgrading something better than the diesel backup generators that are found to fail in 30 seconds that are supposed to back up the nuclear plants. Thank you, Greg Palast and Vulture's Picnic.
Vulture's Picnic.
There are a lot of people actually losing their patience over all of these things, and in Greece, workers are already taking their factories. That's good news.
It is excellent news. In a country the size of Greece, I think it's a very viable tactic. In a place like the United States, this is going to be really hard to turn back the clock and get those workers motivated to actually seize the means of production in a place like the United States. This is going to be a lot tougher than Greece or Spain, although we have to follow their lead and go after it like Iceland did.
And Chicago.
And Chicago.
In Chicago.
And maybe Mexico. Mexico has the first woman to be a candidate for president. You go, girl, Josefina.
So some of the things we touched on was the NDAA, and I think that one of the important issues facing Occupy right now, and one of the hot button topics is Black Bloc interfering with the movement. Is it propelling the movement by providing an agitational threat posture that we can use to forestall or have reprisal actions against government oppression, and that we need to be very wary of creating conditions that justify escalating police oppression.
Well, this should be the topic of our discussion, because Anonymous has called out Black Bloc. Are we ready to discuss that?
I believe so.
Yes.
Well, I think that our own Scott Rossi came up with his own block called the Cat Block. Feline frenzy in the streets.
Awesome. Still doesn't quite address the place of Black Bloc in a nonviolent protest movement.
Anonymous says it has no place because they're using us as a shield.
That's
and they
true.
will dog them to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, I loved his bulletin and communique to the Black Bloc, but I still maintain that they fulfill an important role and that they merely have to be utilized in the proper context, and we have to be aware of the composition of their members.
Well, perhaps the context, most importantly, is a look at what anarchism seems to retain in value today, which is a lack of true connective education and understanding. So the one great thing that they did do with their massive destruction of breaking a few windows and maybe doing some graffiti, as opposed to dropping bombs all over an entire neighborhood or village, much like capitalists do. But the important thing here is that when people like Mayor Kwan, a former activist and newly ordained politician, talk about things like economic violence, one thing that can be construed from that is the great difference between a few individuals expressing a rage against something that is less than lethal and has something only to do with symbols as to why the world is the way it is.
You gotta let the women speak sometimes. Angelina.
I would like to say something, and it is, I think that this country has to learn much more about anarchism. Black Bloc is not a group. Black Bloc is simply a tactic. I do not doubt that some people are using this name to provoke and to harm. But I also know that there are Black Blockers that are sincere.
Absolutely.
And it has, do not use things in a way that you don't know for sure. Anarchism is not bombing. The people that have bombed more are the fascists. Anarchism is the political movement that has been more concerned about education more than any other political movement that has existed since, and they are some of the more advanced people on education.
Okay, I think we also have to consider the fact that maybe they could use their Black Bloc and block the chemtrails, which are filling our skies with heavy metals, lead, mercury, cadmium, you name it, aluminum. And by the way, Monsanto has a seed that is aluminum resistant. I think the whistle can be considered violence now.
So basically, these are some of the topics that we're going to be exploring in our further broadcasts. And hopefully will be a little more formatted and a little less frustrating for some of the members involved. I speak only for myself.
Which will be
but it has been a blast, and it has been a wonderful learning experience, and I think it actually kind of illustrates, here in a nutshell, what we tried to do today, the overall operational method of the Occupy movement: consensual decision-making and democratically inclined thought process.
Next.
Speaking also of violence, as our friend Belle has brought up, the photo that many have mostly become aware about with the SS flag in the photo shot with the snipers in Afghanistan. What are we to believe? What are we to understand? What are we to think and extrapolate from such a picture such as that, especially when we have the Enemy Expatriation Act coming from Congress right now, which deems Congress has the ability to strip people of their citizenship here in the U.S. as what we believe to be a cushy rub over to put on the NDAA that has just been passed to deal with terrorists.
Well,
Okay, one last comment from everyone. Let's start with Angelina.
Wow. Okay, so let's coordinate, let's study together, let's get together, let's talk.
Mike.
Excellent. I would like to, the next time we have a broadcast, I want to explore this thing about the photo of the Marines, the sniper unit that is displaying the SS runes, because I believe that they knew exactly what they were doing, and this is very relevant to the psychology and the very detrimental mental programming that the government's putting on our soldiers. So that is very important, and it relates to everything.
Black Bloc is not the only place you may find COINTELPRO, for they like to leach into every strata of social structures, including the ones that smile at you as they
Front
kill you.
groups, those who cloak their self-interest and compassion, will be ferreted out by various little watchdog committees that are popping up in all the occupies around the world.
Make fun and revolution. It's
Yes.
time now for our calendar, and we're moving to Rob.
I don't have any here.
Oh, there's
Alright.
nothing on the
On
calendar.
February 28th, we want to retake. We're going to reoccupy. We're going to use the call to end the suppression of the occupation movement to reoccupy physical space in 3 dimensions and more, if possible, on February 28th. Go to one of our many web pages at the sanfrancisco.org working groups. We have a guys, help me out here. I don't want to just push our web stuff. I mean,
On the
there's a number
14th,
of
which is
resources.
Valentine's Day, we're going to have a breakup with the bank's breakup in. We are sick and tired of the relationship we have with our banking cartels and wish to end it immediately. Also, as a wish list to be devised, we would like to see if they can turn, or if they could put a chocolate coating over foreclosure rehabilitation.
We have a media discussion on Occupy and the social movement. It's going to be at the Emerald Tablet, 880 Fresno Street, on February 18th.
Right. Yes, I'm gonna go.
Is there anything else to report?
Okay, one thing, I know
We
it's
will
not
have it
right now, but
together,
I want to
February.
say, May 1st, general strike, it's global.
May
Start preparing.
Mayday. Workers of the world.
Okay, I guess we're at the end. Breaking up is hard to do.
Thanks for coming, everyone. We love you. Peace, love, Occupy.
Woo!